Hello patrons, I'm back with another video. This time it's about the Secret Lair Secretversary. Uh, whatever. That's so weird, right? It's like take anniversary, put secret in front, and there you go. That's the name of our drop. It's the Secretversary. All right, wizards, whatever. Today we're going to talk about, this is our outline. First of all, the time is short. I'm a little bit late in making this video. Probably in a perfect world, I would have had it ready right when the Secret Lair dropped. But there were so much things going on with Commander Legends that I have not had the time. And I just want to give a shout out to the Dirtler for encouraging me to make this video and get it out to you all ASAP. So here's the outline. Again, time is short. Payment has changed. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about each Secret Lair box set, which is a box of rocks is the first one. Artist Series Semikin, Happy Little Gathering, Party Hard, Shred Harder. We hope you like Squirrels. Bundles, and then we'll talk about the verdict. Should we buy this? Should we not? All right. And I'll talk about whether something is viable or not as I talk about each layer individually as well. All right. Again, 1 day, 20 hours left. So I'm getting this to you so that you can have some information for your purchasing decision if you have not yet purchased the Secretversary. Quick thing is, with the past Secret Lairs, they would bill you at the time that you purchased the Secret Lair. And what that would do is it would just create really bad feelings because you would put all this money into your Secret Lair drop and then you wouldn't get it for months and months and months. So now they are billing you when the Secret Lair is shipped, as I understand it, or maybe when the product becomes available, they're going to bill you. It's kind of like Amazon. Amazon bills you when the item is shipped. That's kind of a little tip too with the Commander Legends stuff. When I was trying to get my situation situated locally, I was trying to buy Commander Legends and it was looking like locally I wasn't going to be able to get boxes. So I bought some on Amazon knowing that, look, they're not going to bill me until they ship it. And that will be like my last resort. What ended up happening is I did get some product locally and then I was able to just cancel the order with Amazon. So kind of a little side tip since we're talking about this new billing method with the Secret Lair. What it might mean is that more companies are going to buy and pre-sell. So they're going to maybe buy a bunch and then pre-sell. I have heard that if you buy a lot and you have a huge number, like a very large, if you're spending a lot of money, then they might bill you right there at that point because they don't want to hold the bill for very high numbers. I don't know what that number is. I know for regular people just buying it, it's just going to be kind of like Amazon where they bill you when they ship it or when it becomes available. All right. That's good to know. Important. Let's get on to a box of rocks. This is the first one. It comes with a Commander Sphere, a Gilded Lotus, an Arcane Signet, a Chromatic Lantern, and a Darksteel Ingot. It's $29.99 for the non-foil and $39.99 for the foil. If you look at this spreadsheet here, I have the non-foil prices. So if you were to go to TCG Player right now and buy the lowest copy of non-foils, you can get one of each of these cards for $10.39. So obviously, unless you really like the art, it's not really worth it to buy the Secret Lair by itself, non-foil. And then if you look at foils, you can buy one of each foil for $25.80. Now, again, taxes matter, shipping matters. Okay, so, but taxes and shipping also is applied to those numbers above. So it's not $29.99, it's $29.99 plus tax and shipping. So I just leave the tax and shipping out for this analysis. On the surface, it's not really worth it to buy the Secret Lair. I think that one thing to note also is that Wizards is willing to do lots of these kind of cards in new treatments. So we can expect these cards to be throughout different sets. Gilded Lotus was printed in Dominaria. Commander Sphere was printed in Commander Legends. Arcane Signet was printed in Commander Legends. Both of those got extended art treatments. Chromatic Lantern, that's another one that was printed in Return to Ravnica. It was printed in Commander sets. we can expect that these cards are going to be reprinted and reprinted. So the prices for them are going to stay relatively low, and there's going to be a lot of special copies. So if you wanted to get a cool copy for your deck, the copies, there's going to be a lot of special versions. Like we have the extended arts now in Commander Legends, we have these. And what that does is it fractures the market. So anybody in the market for a special copy is now fractured. It's not, the pressure is not on one copy. And if you're looking at value, you want the pressure in one place, because that means that card is going to go up in price because there's a demand, there's so much supply, and then the demand is pressuring the supply. But now if you have like one special copy here, one special copy here, one special copy there, and people can have a choice, then they're picking between the three, and that's taking the pressure that would have been on one and distributing it on three. It's kind of like a table, right? A table has 4 legs because when you distribute the pressure of all the stuff that you put on the table, it goes evenly on the 4 legs. Now, if you take one of the legs out, the table's going to fall down, right? Because the pressure that would be distributed to this leg is not going to, not going to work. If you put one leg under the table and you put a bunch of weight on it, of course, the table's going to crush the leg. And basically what it means to crush the leg is the price goes really high because you have a lot of pressure. You don't have anywhere to funnel that pressure, and it crushes it. So the reason I bring this up is every time they do a secret layer, they fracture the special market for those cards. And so it makes the prices go lower and the secret layer less special. So this one I would pass on. All right. Artist series Semikin. Semikin is becoming one of the most favorite artists of people's minds. I don't know. What's a better way to say that? Seb McKinnon is becoming a lot of people's favorite artist. I think that's a more clean way to say it. And so this one's going to be popular. This will be a popular secret lair. With popularity comes supply, which will help with the prices. It'll drive the prices down, especially the smaller cards. So the Sower of Temptation and the Enchanted Evening in this set will be driven down in price, and they'll stay low because this will be a popular secret lair. $29.99 for the non-foil, $39.99 for the foil. If you were to buy one of every copy on TCG Player, for the non-foils it'd be $31.81, and for the foils it'd be $99.99, $100. That's not counting the swamp. So important thing, this swamp is awesome, and a lot of people are going to want it. So the closest price, I guess, analog is what I think is the Phyrexian Swamp from Jumpstart. So the Phyrexian Swamp from Jumpstart was very expensive in the beginning. Now it's $13.17. So I would add at least $13 because I think this is going to be way more sought after than the Phyrexian Swamp, but I don't know about the supply, right? This will definitely be more sought after, but again, how many people will buy the secret lair and be looking to sell the swamp? Maybe a lot of people will buy the secret lair for the damnation and sell the other parts to kind of recoup some of the cost. And so this secret lair is worth it on the surface. Easy buy, right? $31.81 for the non-foils. And then for the foils, obviously $39.99 versus $100. Easy. And that's not even counting the swamp. So I like the secret lair a lot, if you can't tell. All right, let's move on to the next one. Happy Little Gathering. This is the Bob Ross art secret lairs. And basically, some interesting things about this secret lair. It's $29.99 for the non-foil, $39.99, just like the Seb McKinnon one. What I looked at was not just the basic island, basic swamp, basic forest to do the price analysis. What I looked at was Winter Wonderland secret lair and the Winter Wonderland and the Godzilla lands. Okay, so a couple of things to note about the Winter Wonderland and the Godzilla lands versus this. Number one, this is not special in the sense that it's not foil for the non-foil one, and it's not full art, and it's not extended art. It's just a regular basic land. So missed opportunity in my opinion. The art, Bob Ross art is very revered and people like it a lot, and it would have been cool to see it in the full art treatment, but It's not. So instead of getting it in the full art treatment, you get 2 of each. Okay, because the previous secret layers with Wonderland, Winter Wonderland, I believe you only got 1 of each island, swamp, mountain, plains. And I think the Godzilla lands were 1 of each. I'm not sure. I don't have that information, but this one is 2 of each, so that's important to note. Also, it's like I said, no extended art or anything like that. So I used the Winter Wonderland and Godzilla lands to price what this would look like. The Winter Wonderland, if you were to buy that, again, those are foil, 66.92, and then the Godzilla lands 49.79. And I think this will be in a similar vein, but the only difference is I think that the planes will be split. So like instead of having an $11 Bob Ross planes, there'll be like 2 $5 Bob Ross planes or 2 $3 Bob Ross planes. So it'll fall between the $66 and the $50 in there. And I think that each land will just be like half the price of these other ones that were, that you only got 1 of each. So again, like instead of an $18 island, you might have 2 $9 islands or 2 $7 islands or something like that. So with this one, basic lands are interesting because a couple of things, and I didn't mention this with the swamp from Seb McKinnon's. Seb McKinnon's is such a sweet secret lair, not to go back to that, but because it gives you damnation, which is just a value play, but also it adds that basic land. And basic lands are so good in the sense that they're universal. They're in every format. You need multiples. A lot of times people want them to match. Okay. So, people are not necessarily going to want 1 Bob Ross mountain. They're going to want like 18 of them. Okay. And so what that does is it makes basic lands investable in a sense. Now, there are lots of different, again, going back to that fracturing of the market, there are lots of different options for basic lands. So that's the weakness. The strength is they're universal. They're everywhere. And you want multiples. So that swamp, people are going to want 18, 25 for their commander deck, 28. That's a huge strength. The weakness, you can run a different swamp. You can run a different mountain. And so I don't like betting on basic lands, even though I see the thinking behind it, even though I understand that it's usually a safe bet. If you want these lands, this is a safe bet to buy without losing value. So I think that you can buy it. You're not going to lose value or too much value. And, I'm not necessarily sure you make a lot of money on it if you bought it though. Just like those other ones, they really did. They're not really making a lot of money like the Winter Wonderland and Godzilla, in my opinion. Okay, party hard, shred harder. A lot of hype for this secret lair. Only non-foil, so they do not come in a foil copy. And I have noted the foil prices, and I'll get to why in a minute. So this one is, it's service to a certain aspect of the Magic audience, which I feel like has not gotten that much service. It's reminiscent of old school Magic with the older art, the pentagram, this kind of stuff. And I think there's a lot of Magic players that this is going to appeal to. I think it's going to be also a very popular secret lair, up there with the Seb McKinnon one, probably exceeding it because it has even more pop culture appeal than the Seb McKinnon one. I could see people who used to play Magic, or even people who don't even play Magic, who are just fans of hard music, to just want this. So probably going to be the best selling secret lair out of the bunch. And that brings with it, again, supply, right? The more copies of this that get bought, the more of the singles are floating out there, and it's gonna bring the prices down. But the demand for it will still be super high. So this is something that after the secret lair passes, people coming into the Magic community, people starting to play the game again or rediscovering the game, will see these and say, oh, I want those. And then, hey, you could only got them at the Secret Lair, and that will prop the price up. So let's talk numbers. If you were to buy one of each of these cards on TCG Player, $21.74 for non-foil, and then $62.03 for foil. Now, again, this does not come in foil, but the art treatment is so cool that it's not, you can't judge it based on the price of a regular card, right? Like when you look at Box of Rocks, that looks like a Magic card with a new art, okay? And you can compare, that Chromatic Lantern to some other artwork Chromatic Lantern. They're pretty comparable. These are not comparable to the regular copies. And so I expect there to be a premium because they're not comparable. Now, how much is that premium? Is it as much as the foil premium? It could be. It could very well be. It could be more. Now, when I think about, here's a little thought experiment that we can do. So when you think about making your deck have extra bling, or blinging out your deck or your cube or wherever you're going to put these, you're going to compete with what are the options now. So a lot of them only have a foil option. So it's like, okay, you can get the non-foil or you can get the foil. But like something like Anguished Unmaking has a foil full art. Okay. Now you ask yourself, where do these compete? Do these compete with the regular cards? No, they compete more with like the foil versions or the full art versions. In the Anguish Unmaking's case, I think it's competing with that $12.64. That's what you see to the far right there. $12.64 is the full art Anguish Unmaking. I think this competes with that. And so I would expect this Anguish Unmaking to be, in my opinion, above that. Okay, so like $15 or something like that. Now, I'm not here to tell you, hey, these are what the prices are going to be. I'm just giving you a lot of thinking to use to, when you're making the buying decision for this one and the future, like what kind of thinking goes into whether this is worth it or not. My estimation would say this Secret Lair and some of them would fall between the 21.74 mark and the 62 mark. So somewhere in there is where you're going to land. I like this one a lot, and I'll talk about that more in the verdict. All right. We hope you like squirrels. I like squirrels. There was a kid in my high school who would sometimes just, he was sitting there and he would sometimes just go, squirrels, just like randomly. I don't know if he did it a lot or if he did it once and it just became one of those epic stories that everyone told. But I love the kid. His name was Dennis, and he's such a cool guy. Anyways, sorry, going down memory lane there. This is what you get. You get a nice kickback video where we can talk about memories and Secretversary. So we hope you like squirrels, only in foil. Unlike the last one, which was only in non-foil, this is only in foil, and it's $39.99. So the non-foil, if you were to buy a copy of each of these non-foil, $25.68, which I was surprised about. I did not know that some of these were worth actually money, like the Swarm Yard. I mean, I would have guessed, right? Like if I had Swarm Yard in a stack of cards, I would have looked it up because I would have said, oh, this is a squirrel card. Probably people will want this. But it was surprising when I looked at the foils. The foils for this is $118.67. So if you wanted a foil of each of these cards, you should definitely buy the Secret Lair versus going and buying them on TCG Player. Because you will save a bunch of money. Now, I put the squirrel token at 0. More than likely, the squirrel token is one of those things that you're going to want a lot of. And I'm going to put it at between, if I had to guess, it'd be like between $5 and $10 for the squirrel token. So you can add $5 or $10. It really doesn't matter to those things because the foil number is so much higher than the $39.99. Now, I think that this price will move downward. So when you add more foils to the market, I think that 118 will not really be the price. It'll be moving down. Now, with the previous one, so if you're looking at, if you look at Party Hard, Shred Harder, I think this price will move up from the non-foil. So remember, this is non-foils, and I'm saying instead of using the non-foil price, we should move toward the foil price. Okay. And then when we're looking at the squirrel one, I'm saying instead of the foil price, these are foils, we should move toward the non-foil price. Why would I do that? Why wouldn't they be the same, right? Well, here's why. Squirrels are niche. Okay, squirrels are a niche within a niche, right? They're a niche within Magic, right? Some people want to build squirrel decks. Some people want a squirrel theme in their cube or whatever, or their project they're working on. Squirrels are very niche. And so because of the nicheness, the demand is very low. So previously, the supply for many of these cards has been very low. And that demand and supply kind of meet in this nice place where the price can be high. But now that there's going to be more supply, the demand is not really changing. It's not growing over time. It's pretty much static. Okay, so with more supply, it'll drive the price down. And with more supply and no extra demand, price is going to go down. Now, if you look at something else like the Shred Harder, Party Hard, Shred Harder, all of those are removal spells. Those are things that have a bigger play profile. That means they're in competitive decks. They're in cubes. They're in EDH decks. They're all over the place. And so the demand for those will rise as the more players that come, more people are going to want those removal spells. So it's more universal instead of being niche. Now, there is a little caveat here, and the caveat is niche does not sell well. Okay, so when you look at this secret lair for squirrels, not a lot of people are going to buy the squirrel secret lair, what that means is that there's going to be less supply out there. So what could happen is what happened with cats. Okay, cats is another niche. And when they released the cat secret lair, it was niche-y and not many people bought it, is my assumption. And now that secret lair is one of the best performing from a value perspective secret lair. So that could happen with squirrels. Will it? We're not sure. We don't know. And it also may depend on what they reprint, right? Because if they start reprinting some of those cat singles in new, fracturing the market further for special editions, then that secret lair will lose value as people go into those different silos. Same thing with the squirrels thing. So I'm not a big fan of betting on the casual stuff or the niche stuff because, again, the demand is not there, and with new supply, the price is going to get driven down. But there is that caveat to think about. Okay, let's talk about the bundles. Secret Lair Super Rock, no foils, no nonsense bundle, $99.99. If you were to buy each of those cards on TCG Player, would equal $113.73. And this is based on the Godzilla lands. So I used the lower price lands for the non-foil version of calculating the value. So that's where we're at. I would not buy this to resell. Now, if you just want to be like, hey, I want to own all these, I think it'd be cool, save a few bucks, then I think it's a buy in that sense. You're not losing a bunch of money to do it. Some of the higher value ones kind of offset the lower value ones. The rocks one gets a little bit offset by some of the others, and you do all right. So I think it's okay to buy for yourself. Don't buy it to resell. I don't think the margins are there. Okay, super bundle. This is the foils. Okay, foils a little bit different. $139.99 for this one, and $294.25 in TCG low. And this is based on the Winter Wonderland lands, which is the higher price lands to equate for the foil Bob Ross lands. Okay, this is a much better bundle. I like it. I like it to even resell. So there's possibilities here, opportunities to resell in this bundle. I like that one. The big bundle, the super, the bundle. $229.99, so you save $10, and then $407.98 in TCG low if you were to buy one of each of those cards. Easy. It looks very easy on the surface, right? The bundle is the best value, but you have to remember that the original, if we go back and look at the no foil bundle, the margin here is not a lot. So what you're seeing in the bundle is basically this margin, which is the foil one, minus, and then add $10 because they knock $10 off the price, right? Instead of buying both of those bundles, you can bundle them and save $10. So that brings us to the verdict. There we go. The foil bundle is really the key bundle. I think that if you want to resell, you should buy the foil bundle and resell it. Now, the bundle, it basically, it mitigates the foil. The foil bundle carries the non-foil bundle and makes it resellable. So if you wanted to have like texture in your offerings and you want to have foil and non-foil copies, then that's a reason to buy the bundle to resell, because the foil bundle is going to carry in profit the smaller one. The other thing is that we don't know what's inside these secret layers. Usually they give you a little extra. Now, if the thing that's a little extra is like a lot extra, then just buying more secret layers is better, right? Just having all, if you were going to get 30 secret layers, it's probably better to get 30. If you're going to get 30 foil bundles, it could be better to get 30 bundles, because then you get an extra, whatever. I don't know. There's 4 secret layers, so extra 30, 60, 90, 120 secret layers, right? And if that little extra thing, if it's planeswalkers or whatever, then you get an extra 120 planeswalkers, which is really huge when you're reselling. So important to think about that. The other play that I like is maxing out on the Semikin or the Party Hard one. I think doing that on either of those is a really good, solid play. And to me, again, I don't want to gamble on the casual niche stuff. I want to know where the sure money is. And I think sure money is in the Seb or the Party Hard one. The money is already there. It's intrinsically there. And then it just has so much potential to grow. One thing, the caveat being, those will probably be the most popular, meaning that there will be the most supply. And if you're going to try to resell, you're going to try to pre-sell them, or if you're going to try to sell them immediately after getting them, you're going to have a lot of competition. If you don't mind holding on to that stuff will appreciate over time. Okay, so that's it. That's my take on the Secretversary Secret Lair drops. And this is my way of saying thank you for being a patron. I hope that this helps you with your purchasing decisions, or at least gives you some framework for thinking about the secret layers in general. I want to thank you all, and I hope you have an awesome week. I'll see you on the next video.